Hi, in the last class we discussed about single point cutting tool geometry and its parameters. And in today's class we will discuss about theory of metal cutting. So before watching this video, please click on the below bell button, subscribe, like and share to your friends. So friends, here theory of metal cutting. What is the theory of metal cutting? You take example whenever you are performing material removal operation. So why material removal process is required? So material removal process is required. For example, if you have taken this is a raw material having a size of uh, around diameter 50 mm and you want to make this around 45 diameter. So what you need to do, you need to do the what, using the single point cutting tool. Turning operation need to be performed by putting this job in the lathe machine. While performing so, what happens here? So when this job is rotating here in the form of chip, small chip, the material is removed from the material, and what happens, you are getting the required size of the job. So while performing, so what is the theory for metal cutting and how the chip formation takes place? With the diagram they are explained in this chapter. So what is mechanics of metal cutting? You just see here. Here you can just observe a wedge shaped tool is made to move related to the workpiece. Here this complete is the workpiece you want to remove. I explained with the turning job. Here they give a square job, and here you can see here single point cutting tool is advanced, and here what happens, along this shear plane material is removed in the form of chip. So this small chip formation we are discussing here. So this tool is, we are calling it as wedge shaped cutting tool, wedge shaped single point cutting tool. Here they also explained here how they are indicating that T is the uncut, TC is the chip thickness after the cut, okay, and this is the lip or wedge angle, then cutting angle. So like that, here various parameters they are taken to explain this, the mechanics of metal cutting and chip formation. A typical metal cutting process can be represented in the figure. So here wedge shaped tool is made to move related to the workpiece. So what happens here, as the tool comes in contact with the, as tool come in contact with the workpiece along this shear plane, what happens there? Here the material is removed in the form of chip because of pressure exerted on it in the compression of the metal near the tool tip. So what happens, because of the pressure we are exerting from the tool, there chip formation takes place. So this includes shear type deformation within the metal, and it starts moving upward along the top face of the tool. So what type of deformation will takes place before the chip is removed there? Shear deformation resulting in what? There is a removal of material from the workpiece. So this is one of the important question from the main exam point of view. They are asking question like this: explain the mechanics of metal cutting process with neat sketch. So you draw this diagram, okay, with this very simple diagram. Then how they are explaining this mechanics of metal cutting and chip formation. Here just now I explained this. TC is the chip thickness after cut. Here they are given TC. T is the uncut chip thickness. So here you can see after cutting the this one material chip thickness after the cut. Here they are given this is the chip thickness after the cut, TC, right? Then where is T? Time required to uncut chip thickness. T is what? Uncut chip thickness. So like this there is a diagram. You can read this diagram with more detailed notes I given. Only I will explain what is the mechanics of metal cutting process. Mechanics of metal cutting takes place because of wedge shaped cutting tool is used to remove the material from the workpiece by the shear deformation, by the shear type of deformation within the metal, and starts moving upward along the top face of the tool. Because of that, what happens? There is a chip formation takes place on the material. So T is called uncut chip thickness. TC is called chip thickness after the cut. So in the metal cutting there are two types of cutting. One is orthogonal and second one is oblique or three-dimensional cutting. Okay, so what is orthogonal cutting and what is oblique cutting, we will discuss one by one.